think it's funny, but you really hurt her.
But she said it.
Okay, you're not listening to me. And if Connor was such a good friend to you guys, don't you think it should have been brought up at a different time, not in a...
To say I'm saving is an understatement, because I don't think some of the scenes in this episode were necessary. I feel like production should have pulled back these people several times. The idea that these guys came up with this narrative to frustrate Shakira. Shakira has been through a lot with the girls, let alone for the guys to step in and try and tarnish the one moment that she's happy in the villa. I didn't like that. For the boys to be called around the fire pit, to be told that what you're doing is wrong, you're trying to sort of cause pain to someone who hasn't done anything to you. Why are you creating this narrative to try and destroy somebody else's relationship? And for Dejon to sit up there and open his top and bottom lip and say, you like to create a sin. If she wanted to create a sin, she could have shouted at you in front of everyone. But she called you three geniuses because you are the reason behind this. Oh my God, oh my God. And do I think Harrison chose to go home? No, he was kicked out. As far as I'm concerned, that's the impression that I get from everything that's taken place. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it must be a duck. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island UK, Season 12, Episode 40. So it seems the game is still continuing. I thought that was the end of it. Anyway, so the next question is, which couple gives you the biggest egg? And we already knew without even asking. And this time, surprise, surprise, they were very submissive. They just went. I think they realized that the viewers are not buying through whatever nonsense they're selling. So the Islanders chose Harry and Helena as number 1, Harrison and Tony number 2, and then Dejon and Meg were number 3. Harry, everyone agreed that his speedos give people the ick, but everybody else was sort of up in the air as regards why they were giving people the ick. The results were announced. Dejon and Meg were number 1, and they didn't understand why they were giving people the ick. And it's like, I get the ick every time Meg is malicious and is very mean to one of the girls. So that's just it. And then Dejon, the moment he spoke to Billikis the way he did, he lost me. He lost me completely. Harry and Helena are number 2, and Tony and Harrison are number 3. Sadly for Harrison, when he came into the villa, he was on the right team. He was on the team with people like Shay and Ramel and Connor, and then he decided to be with the popular kids, and the popular kids have just led him astray, and now he's in a whole lot of muddy water, especially including Women's Aid writing a complaint about him. That's a story for another day. Anyway, the next question is, Angel wants you to rank her top 3 guys. And so they decide, well, Meg was very vocal on this because she didn't want her guy up there. So she decided friendship couples, the guys should go up. Cash on his part actually said, I don't think I should be here. I don't even understand why I'm here. But they decided they wanted him there. So they put Cash number 1, Ty number 2, and Boris number 3. Angel came out. She looks amazing. She does look amazing. Hopefully she stays on the right team. Angel is 26. She's from Maidstone and she's a salon owner. She says she's a big flirt, so she's looking to find her guy in the villa. She then came out. The girls were shooketh to the core because they realized that there was competition in the villa. So she then arranged them as Ty was her number 1 because she said seeing him, she was instantly attracted to him. Number 2, she placed Harry, and number 3, she placed Connor. And Shakira was like, oh my God, you have good taste. You've gone after my guy. And it's like, oh, that's sweet. Anyway, so once she did that, Ty received a message that said, Ty, you're now in a couple with Angel. And we know that it's about to be disaster because who's single? Lauren. Lauren received a message to say that she was single. She wasn't happy. She was very tearful. And it's like, that's the name of the game. In Love Island, whenever they play a game, know that something is about to go down. So for you to be surprised that this is where we are, I don't get it. She received a message, Lauren, you're single, you've been dumped from the villa. And instantly, she was very tearful. The clique was shooketh to the core because it seems the clique is the one that keeps losing members. And I think they must be wondering, what are we doing wrong that's making us to continue to lose members? Because they lost Megan, and then they lost Emily, and then they lost Lucy. Now they've lost another member, which is Lauren. Lauren instantly went to Harrison. She was told by Meg that you need to speak to Harrison. So she went to speak to Harrison. And I personally don't get it. Why she felt the need to bribe him with her kisses, I don't get it. This is why she gives guys her body. No offense, no slut shaming. But the fact that she always thinks intimacy will mean you've got a strong bond, that's not it. There's more to intimacy or creating a connection with someone than being physically affectionate. No, there's more to a relationship than kissing or sex. So the idea that she was constantly kissing him and begging him, are you coming with me? I need you to come with me. I need you to come with me. And it's like, why are you begging him? He on his own should be telling you that I'm coming. There's no discussion. You should be holding him back and say, no, think about it, whatever. Not for you to be begging him to say, I need you to come with me. You said I was going to be your girlfriend. So if I'm your girlfriend, why are you not coming with me? And it's like, girl, with the way this genius has played you, I don't get which part of it you didn't understand. She then stormed off crying. I think she thought if she used the waterworks, then that might help. You had the senior members of the clique trying to corner Harrison into going. Helena was busy shouting, Harrison, you need to stand on business. If you say you like her, if you say you want to go with her, then you need to stand on business. And it's like, please, madam, if Harry were to leave today, would you leave with him? No. So why are you pushing somebody else to go with someone if they are saying they're not ready? I didn't get that. And then Lauren was crying again round 2. And it's like, this should be enough to tell you that this man is unsure about you. If he was sure about you, you wouldn't need to beg him to go with you. He would just stand up and come with you. You don't need to ask him to say, oh, please, let's go. Oh, please, let's do this. So I don't get why you're begging him. You then had Harrison go to the fire pit with the guys, and he was telling the guys that she wants me to come with her. And Connor said to her, Connor, for someone who was very tearful when Megan left, told her, you need to sleep on it and then make up your mind in the morning. Because if you act on emotion, you might do something that you'll live to regret. The other guys were all in agreement that he needs to sleep on it. He can't just say, oh, you're going, so I'm going with you. And then he went to tell her that, I've decided to sleep on. She started crying again, and she was kissing him. And it's like, God, are you kissing him because you'll miss him? Or are you kissing him because you're trying to convince him to come with you? All this happening, and Tony's just saying, oh, he needs to go. They need to go together. They need to go together. And it's like Tony is now seeing that this idiot played her. And because she was so emotionally invested in him than he was in her, this is why he played her. She was talking to Shakira, telling Shakira, oh my God, they need to go. Why is he staying? You need to go with her. Helena tried to console, Lauren, and was telling her, we need to go with, you need to speak to him. Helena, on her part, tried to console Lauren because she was inconsolable. She was crying. And there's something else that I noticed. When the people were walking away from where they were playing the game, I heard Megan say to Helena, now we need to recruit again. And it's like, who do you think is going to want to be in your clique? The two of you are the meanest, most horrible people in the villa. So the idea that you think anyone wants to be aligned with you, I do not get it. I really don't. So I don't understand why they were doing that. Even as everyone was standing by the door, Lauren was still kissing Harrison. Oh, and you were saying, wait for me. And it's like, wait for you. What are you doing? You're not at war. You can go if you want her. And if you feel you want her to wait for you, I don't get it. For you told her you're going to sleep on it. Sleep on it. Stop wasting our time and stop getting someone to promise that they'll wait for you. What do you want her to wait for you for? I am still confused. Anyway, you then have the girls go and sit on the sun deck. Angel then was asked, why did you choose Ty? And she said the moment she saw him in the villa, she knew he was going to be her guy because she really liked him. Good for her for going for what she wanted. She was happy that she was coupled up on day 1. I love Tony saying, oh girl, you've barely been here an hour and you're already coupled up. I've been here 6 weeks and I'm still single. I'm disappointed in Connor is an understatement because I expected better from him. I really did. Especially given the fact that he and Shakira are supposedly best friends before they started dating. So the idea that he would listen to Twiddly-Dee and Twiddly-Dum doesn't make sense to me. Not at all. Because why would you think that Harry and Harrison would have your best interest at heart over anybody else in that villa? They're looking out for each other's best interests. So he sits on the daybeds with the boys and he starts asking what exactly was said. Harrison is saying, oh, I asked her, do you like Connor more than you liked Ty? And she said, yes. And then I say, do you like Harry more than you liked Connor? And she said, I spent a longer time with Harry. So I've only been in a couple with Connor for 1 day. So you can't compare that, which is the truth. You can't compare it. And then they try to rationalize and justify it and say, oh, she didn't give an explanation. Now that she's given an explanation, it makes no sense. And it's like, Connor, why are you sitting there? Did you not watch last season? Did you not hear about last season? This is the same mess that Joey and Sean tried to pull on Josh and tried to separate Mimi and Josh so that they could win. And you are here listening to these geniuses instead of going to speak to your partner, consulting her and finding out exactly what's happened so that you know where you stand between the two of you. You don't need to listen to anything they have to tell you because they're never going to tell you the truth. So he then went and he pulled Shakira for a chat. Shakira was distressed. She was very upset. And she's justified in being upset because why would you say we are friends? Why would you say you trust me? Why would you say you really like me and you see a romantic future with me? And then turn around and go and speak to the people that want my downfall. What makes you think that those people have my best interests at heart? What have I done or said that has shown you that I really like this man? No, she hasn't. He's a best friend in the villa. He was advising her about this Harry situation. So the idea that suddenly, I don't know whether it was jealousy, whatever took over Connor, I don't get it. And I'm happy that Shakira was able to express herself. Seeing her cry broke me. It really broke me because nobody deserves to be treated like that. She's been through a lot in this villa. She's had to endure a lot of things that we've watched on a daily basis. Helena pulling the guy she was in bed with while he was cuddling her. Helena taking her swimsuit and going and still kissing the guy she was exploring a connection with. Helena making a sexually suggestive comments in her guy's ear, even though she was still in a couple with Shakira. So the idea that we all expect Shakira to put up with every single thing that she's had to endure from these geniuses, I don't get it. I really don't get it. And for Connor being one of the people that Shakira confided in and was always seeking advice from, for him to believe that, I don't get it as well. I'm happy that she had Shakira and Yasmin to console her and try and comfort her. Connor, I think the moment she walked off and she said she wanted to leave, he realized he had screwed the push. This is why he was running, trying to talk to her. And I'm happy that she said, no, respect my boundary. I don't want to talk at the moment. And it's like, why would you want to talk to her when she's emotional? Give her a chance to sort of process what she's been through. And then if she has a moment, she'll speak to you. If she doesn't, it is what it is. You have to keep it stepping. You made your bed. You have to lay in it. We have Ty and Angel having a conversation. They're just two pretty looking people. There's nothing there. They're just two pretty looking people. They're already talking about cuddling. They've barely been around each other for 2-3 hours. And it's like, oh my God, this is just going to be a sexual attraction. They are going to be what Helena and Harry wish they could be. That's the impression that I get. As long as Angel doesn't join the clique, they are going to be what Harry and Helena think they are, in my opinion. The Islanders get ready for bed. Shakira obviously was crying. She was distressed. And so you can see Connor is sitting there. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He really doesn't know, because at the end of the day, he made this bed and he has to find some way of sort of sorting out whatever issues he's raised in his couple. For Harry to be flirting with Billikis in the bathroom, he's an idiot. And I'm happy that Billikis told him this is why you're called a game player, because he's busy asking her, are you still with Cash or are you ready to move on? And it's like, why? What business of yours is it? You've never shown any interest in her, so why suddenly now? Anyway, the Islanders get ready for bed and the lights go out. And surprisingly, no one else was making out in bed outside of Ty and Angel. In the morning, the mood in the bedroom is very low because the clique have lost a new recruit and Harrison has lost the love of his life, his future girlfriend. And so the mood is low. The Islanders get up, they go for a debrief. We only got to see one of the debriefs. So we got to see the guys, Harrison, Harry, and Dejon. And we got to see the girls, Shakira, Tony, and Billikis. And so the girls are speaking to Shakira, sort of trying to dissect what happened the night before, because they still couldn't understand why Connor reacted the way he did. And the girls are telling Shakira that we think he really likes you, but these guys are playing games and hopefully the public are starting to see them for who they are. Shakira was in a better place. She was able to sort of rationalize. The night before, she had been very upset. She had been very distressed. And so there was no reasoning with her. Connor, obviously, the girls were saying he appears to have genuine feelings for Shakira. Maybe this is why his feelings were hurt, because we know anytime he sees confrontation or anytime he feels like something is not going his way, Connor will bounce. And surprisingly, he hasn't yet spoken about bouncing. The boys are on the mini fire pit. Dejon and Harry are asking, Harrison, how are you? What have you thought? Have you decided to go? And Harrison is saying, I'm not sure. I'm still thinking. I'll see later. I feel he was waiting for production to make a decision about his case, because there becomes way too many sort of complaints about him for them to ignore. So this is why he was contemplating. He wasn't contemplating per se, but he was told, if they ask you, just say you're still thinking. Harrison, well, the boys then asked, is anyone open to getting to know Angel? Dejon said, I can't. You guys can have her because, I'm closed things off. And it's like, nah. He's only saying that because he knows it won't be a good look. He already knows the public are not feeling him. This is why he's saying that. Harry, on his part, said, I'll take a look and see what's up, and then I'll make a decision about that. It's like, don't make it seem like you're the one who has the authority over what happens here. You have to understand that, she has her own opinions, and she can decide that you're not good enough for her and keep it stepping. Tony then called the male clique members to the fire pit to have a conversation, because Tony and Shakira are very close, and Tony wasn't having it in regards to the way they treated Shakira, the gossips that they were having, and how they tried to break up her good thing. They sat around at the fire pit, and she's saying to the guys, I don't understand why you're playing games, and I don't understand why you're making up these sort of false allegations and creating a scenario in your head that is not true. Shakira hasn't given you any indication that she's interested in you. So the idea that you guys are making it seem as though she's still pining after you doesn't make sense. The guys started to pretend to be ignorant. And the level of disrespect, I used to sort of praise and sort of defend Dejon, but sadly that has gone out the window. For him to say, Tony, you like to create a scene, and it's like she's not creating a scene. She's called the three of you to a corner, and she's sort of trying to let you see that what you're doing is hurting somebody else's feelings. I am of the opinion that Dejon, realizing that, he screwed the push again, this is why he was trying to go into attack mode, and sadly it's not working for him. And I don't see how he can't recognize that when he started losing people, the way he spoke to Bellicus, and he hasn't been able to win them back. And I don't know how he's going to cope when he goes back into the real world, because some of the people, the stains will wash off them, but for him, it's going to take a long time for that to wash over. So the idea that he thinks it's okay for him to be speaking to people like that, I don't get it. I think he's become too carried away and is forgetting that he's on camera, whether he thinks this makes him look cool. I don't know. I haven't seen his sister defending him. She normally defends him on TikTok, but I haven't seen any of her posts. So I wonder what's happening there. Surprise, surprise, Angel is getting more screen time than Bellicus, who's been in the villa forever. And people have campaigned and asked for footage of Bellicus, but we haven't seen anything. So the idea that we have this breakfast date between Angel and Ty doesn't make sense. I didn't find anything interesting. I thought it was a bit dry. That's just my opinion. I think the two of them are dry as a team. And I don't know. Unless they bring Harry into their conversation, there really is nothing to get to know about them. And there's really nothing stand out about them as a couple. So I don't know how much more we can get of this sort of Harry exploration triangle. Shakira then came out and went and sat with Connor. She asked Connor for a chat. And I love that Connor, I think, is now realizing that he could easily, lose Shakira, because Shakira, he knows, doesn't tolerate nonsense. And so he's saying it's really a bit difficult in the sense that she doesn't want to speak to him and he can't speak to the guys. It's not that he's saying he can never speak to them. And Shakira said, I'm not refusing for you to speak to them. It's just the fact that you need to ask yourself, why are they saying this? What do they stand to benefit from saying this? And this is something he didn't do the night before. He became so emotional, he wouldn't even give her a second look. He wouldn't even give her a chance to explain herself. And hopefully seeing how much damage this genius has created for him is a wake-up call, because he needs to wake up, otherwise he's going to lose Shakira, and then these idiots are going to be laughing because they know Shakira has a chance of winning and they don't want that. You have Angel pull Harry for a chat. And it's like, I understand her saying she wants to see what the hype is. I think she's doing it so that she can get airtime. I think production have told her you need to pull Harry so that people question whether he's going to remain loyal to his partner or whether he's ready to move on. Do I think he likes her in a romantic sense? I think he does. I think the optics are what is now making him question whether it would be a good idea for him to sort of stick with Helena or try and explore something. If optics don't seem amazing for him, he's not going to do it. So it's just a matter of waiting to see what he thinks is in his best interest, as far as I'm concerned. Soon after that chat, Harry went for a conversation with Helena, because Helena had been moaning begrudgingly to Harrison that, she can't continue to sit around and wait and watch him explore with other people. She has to moan and groan to everybody else but the person she's in a couple with. Every time Harry does something, she doesn't go and face him. She'll always go and moan to everybody else. Why is he doing this? This is inappropriate. I don't like this. And it's like, tell him. The two of you are setting boundaries, so tell him and set your boundary for him, and then let him know what you want and see if he's willing to sort of stick to that or not. Otherwise, keep it stepping. You have Emma sit down for a chat with Harry. I think this chat was long overdue because she's saying to Harry, you said you'd protect me, you said you'd always have my back, but you were standing there and watching your friends drag me through the mud and didn't even cross your mind to sort of protect me. I think his ego was bruised. I'm now starting to think that the two of them came in with a game plan of sort of rekindling in the villa. And sadly, because Emma had seen a couple of things that he had done, she was upset and she decided to blow the whistle. And this is why they're in the space where they are at. That he's now becoming very combative, he's becoming very defiant. He won't sort of listen to whatever she has to say because he feels like she bruised his ego. And it's like, you have to be a big man about it. You have to be a big man. You can't continue to sort of pine away and say, oh, why did you say this about me? Why did you say that about me? It's not that big a deal. The islanders get ready for the night. You have Harrison standing there looking at the sunset. And it's like, I feel like that's the point they told him that you're done. It's time for you to go home. And I feel like, this is why he was being upset. Helena is busy speaking to Yasmin. Surprise, surprise. I think the clique has become so toxic that the producers are trying to use people like Yasmin, Bilkis, and whoever to try and neutralize them because they know that the viewers cannot stand them. And so they're constantly trying to bring in other people to try and sort of neutralize the scene. That way people are more inclined to watch. For Helena to be mourning to Yasmin about a couple, since when did Helena and Yasmin become best friends? I thought she called her boring. I thought she called her everything under the sun. So the idea that she would be confiding in Yasmin and telling her, oh, Harry was talking about being exclusive, I don't know what to think about it. And it's like, oh God, leave it out. It's not that deep. It really is not that deep. The islanders get ready for the night. They pick up their drinks. They go and sit in their groups. And then you have Yasmin sitting by the fire pit with Jamie, coming up with a Cupid plan to sort of get Tony and Cash to rekindle. And it's like, I thought Cash was now exploring a connection with Bilkis. Did they not find anything there? Are they in a friendship couple? Why are we taking somebody else's partner to go and rekindle with somebody else? I sort of didn't like that. Because if they rekindle with Tony, it's sort of a double-edged sword. I want Tony to stay in the villa, but I also want Bilkis to stay in the villa. And we can't continue to have them fighting over the same guy. If that's the case, why not get somebody else to come in for Bilkis if we're going to push Tony towards Cash? So they then pull Tony, have a chat with Tony to see if she's open to speaking to Cash. Tony became tearful. She was happy to speak to him because she just wants to apologize. And then you had Yasmin bring Cash up to Tony. They sat down. Cash comes across as a very understanding guy and is very caring. So he was able to be open-minded and actually listen to her and tell her, they ended up joking. She said, I'm an idiot. He said, just a little bit. She said that much. And so it was cute to see them chat, but I really only want them to rekindle if we have someone for Bilkis. If we cannot find anyone for Bilkis, Bilkis needs to stay with Cash. And then we need to bring in someone for Tony. That's my opinion. downstairs you have Harry be pulled for a chat by Angel, and it's like, so Angel is getting more screen time than people that have been in the villa for weeks and weeks and weeks. What's so special about her? Is nothing stand out about her, so why is she getting so much airtime? The fact that you now had Helena complaining again, oh, he told me he wants to be closed off, why is he now flirting when he's telling me that he wants, and it's like, you knew the person you were dating. You knew the person you were dating. You knew how this would end. So the idea that you thought it was a genius idea to continue to explore a connection with someone you know has a wandering eye doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Harry, the flirting way, yeah, he wasn't over the top. I think he's just doing it just for the sake of it. Do I think he sees Helena as his end goal? No. He sees Helena as his end goal to stay on the show, yeah, but I don't think he sees her as his end goal as someone he could settle down with. He's always disrespected her from day one, so the idea that he's flirting with somebody else, that's nothing new. I think they would have tagged in Harrison, but Harrison created so much of a mess that they were now trying to pull Harrison out. So they're trying to get Harry to sort of be the menace that he was at the start. I personally wish Harry and Dejon had remained the way they were at the start, just being messy, in a sort of non-disrespectful way, and sadly they got too comfortable in the villa and showed their true colors. So you have Harrison pull Harry and Dejon for a chat, and it's like, oh God, here we go. They sit down, these geniuses, for a chat, and he's telling them that, oh, I've decided to go home because, you know, I really miss Lauren. This has been a miserable day for me. I see her as my girlfriend, so I feel I need to go. And it's like, buddy, if you saw her as your girlfriend, you should have gone home before that. You wouldn't have needed to go up to the terrace to speak to Tony. You wouldn't have needed to waste your time and spend the whole day sulking around the villa. You were waiting to be told you have to go home. You thought they would allow you to stay, but sadly you've been told it's time to go home, because you could see the wake-up call on Harry and Dejon's faces, that they knew that things were heating up and they were starting to question their own places in the villa, because I don't think it's just Harrison who was told about to sort of what was going on in the real world. I think the three of them were called and they were told that people are complaining about your behavior. You need to recalibrate, otherwise we're going to kick you all out. And so I think this is why these two geniuses were sort of shocked that, oh my God, they really are serious. We thought they were joking. So you have Harrison say he's going to pull everyone around the fire pit. In the meantime, you have Tony sitting in the den with Helena and Megan. And it's like, since when has Tony become friends with these two? I said it before, I'll say it again. Production is trying to make these people palatable to the viewers, because they know people can't stand them. And this is why they're bringing in fan favorites, so that they can sit amongst them and make it seem like everybody gets along, when we all know that they don't get along. They've already spoken about recruiting, and the only person they're most likely going to recruit is Angel. Otherwise, the other girls, I don't think they want to be recruited into that mess. You have Harrison call everyone to come around the fire pit. Everyone sits there. You can tell some of them already knew. Tony was not impressed. She was just sitting there and just waiting for him to finish his speech. Oh, you know, I've decided that Lauren is the girl for me. I can see her being my girlfriend once we leave the villa. So I have decided to go home. And it's like, why didn't you go this morning? Why did you need to wait for everyone to sort of round us at the fire pit and create all this ceremony? I have a feeling, this is my opinion, he was told it's time to go home. I'm sorry, we can't put out the fire that you've created. It's time to go home. The show trumps you, so pack your bags and go home. And this is why he went home, because they couldn't continue to save him. And he knew that. And everyone else was crying, whatever. Tony was just sitting there, straight face. She didn't care. When a woman is done, she's done. And Tony was done. She was fed up. She had had enough. The survey from the viewers told her everything she needed to hear, everything she had been ignoring. She was able to hear through that survey. He pulls her for a chat to the fire pit and says, I just want to apologize, whatever. Tony sat there as though she was a spectator just watching something taking place. Because even though he was crying, I don't think he was crying because he heard Tony. I think he was crying because he realized that, oh, now there's backlash for the nonsense that I've created. For him to say, oh, I was struggling to make up my mind. You're not struggling to make up your mind. You just didn't want to see Tony happy. And this is why you did everything in your power to make her as miserable as possible. The moment you jumped teams from the, what's his name, Shay and Romel's situation and Connor, to this other menacing group, that's the moment you turned into this monster. Sadly, the other cohort could control themselves and contain themselves. You couldn't. And once you lost the viewers, you lost them completely. And so I'm happy that Tony was able to sit there with a straight face and watch him and let him perform his performance, stand up and go. And she said, I deserve better. You did me wrong. He knows he did her wrong. You then have him say goodbye to the boys. Young Bull is out. Young Bull, what? Go home. And this is going to haunt him for a long time. For him to try and use Cash's words and say, the way I treated you, someone had treated my sister like that, I wouldn't have been happy. So all the time you're doing it up until you're out the door, that's when you realize that what you did was wrong and you wouldn't want anyone treating your sister like that. There is something called karma, and karma is going to come a calling. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 39. Bye guys.